Hi, Lime Green Squid here. I'm a bit sick, so I don't know how good this will sound, but if it sounds good enough, I guess I'll post it. There's a guy that's been coming into my store. I work at Subway, and we sort of got into a little discussion on religion and stuff, and there were customers. We couldn't really do it a lot, so he said to send him an email, and I had some video, told him I had some videos on YouTube with some of my perspectives, and I wrote him an email, and I thought it was worded very well, so I'm going to share a bit with you. The thing that struck my chord was when he said it takes more faith to believe in evolution than God. So here's where it goes. I also, from that statement, I gave him a link to Aaron Ra's video of the evolution of cats and how they diverged from dogs and all that type of thing, and just how detailed and specific that is. I don't know how anyone can think it takes more faith to believe in that much documented facts over an infinite being. But yeah, so here it is. It takes more faith to believe in evolution than an infinitely powerful being? No, that's another one of those dishonest catchphrases created by the leaders, manipulators of religion, trying to fool those who don't like to do research just to keep their flock. Not saying you're personally being dishonest, as you seem to believe it, but the saying itself is utterly dishonest by nature, meant to confuse people ignorant of the topic. Science can't afford to work on faith, or else we'd still be using witch doctors and trying to jump off mountains with man-made paper wings. There'd be no TV, cell phones, streetlights, medicine, etc. Science only relies on facts that scientists have observed and recorded, which are submitted to public scrutiny by other scientists who actively try to disprove the facts just to make sure it's not bullshit. When multiple methods of scientific inquiry, individual of each other, cannot debunk a set of facts that all lead to the same answer, then it can be called a theory. It can be put into use. A theory is nothing more than a collection of established, experimented, tirelessly researched facts under one subject, or overarching topic. In the case of evolution, as the Aaron Ra's video shows, it's highly documented and pretty solidly ironclad. There's no one who's actually done any of the study of evolution can deny it without great cognitive dissonance. Only ignorance of the subject can justify anybody not understanding it. I don't use the word believe, as it seems to represent today, and it seems today to represent an idea that even if it's false, it can still be held without scrutiny because it makes the person feel bad about themselves if they realize they could be wrong. It's just a weak stance, weak word, believe or belief. Understanding is a far more useful word to me to use in this type of case, because all the facts are there for anyone to find if they so wish to do their own research about evolution. That's the difference. This is not part of the letter, but just the difference between religion and science. Some people will say, well, you'd have dogmatic faith in science books, but the problem is the stuff you'll find in science books you'll also find in real life. Most of the stuff you'll find in religious books either does not exist in real life, or is an inaccurate portrayal, or outright myth that has no basis in any truth. Yahweh, the most popular of mythical gods, relies completely on faith because you can't see it, test it, falsify it, or even interact with it, mostly because it's all human imagination. And those who say they've interacted with a god have been shown to have been either manipulated by a group, have personal mental issues, or have the normal image mapping of the human brain, which creates faces in random patterns, and the idea that something is out there watching, because those who thought that in ancient days were more likely not to die by exploring the unknown. A survival mechanism, also extensively documented. So to continue the answer with your assertion that it takes more faith to believe in evolution, I present this. There's only one form of evolution study and theory which is always being added to and improved. It's one unified theory. It's all the different scientific methods that study back into it agree with each other, individually of each other. Excuse me. And where was I? Yeah, all the points All the facts point to the same thing, and the scientists can use the theory to apply to many real-life things without the theory changing based on who's using it. On the other hand, there are 33,000 more different forms of disagreement in faith, aka denominations, in belief of Yahweh, each calling the other wrong, based on the idea that some people prefer different parts of the Bible to others. And that's only among those who believe in Jesus Christ. I'm saying 33,000 more denominations. There are also the many denominations, disagreements among the Jews and Muslims, and not to mention all the other religions and gods that man has created in his or her own image. And I say with confidence that God was created in man's image, because no all-loving God would be petty and bigoted against and blame something he created for doing exactly what he programmed it to do. That's the mark of a child with an ant colony and a hammer, or an evil dictator who deserves no respect or reverence. Even I am morally superior to a God like this. I know if I screw up a drawing of mine, that it's my own fault. It's not the pencils or the papers or even the drawing's fault. Why doesn't Yahweh seem to get that concept? And if you're going to say he didn't screw up, it wasn't a mistake that he created us the way we are and is punishing us for it, then why is he blaming us for being the way he created? It either means he created us for the sole purpose of watching us suffer, which means he is not all-loving nor forgiving, or maybe he created us, or maybe you might say that Yahweh didn't know that man was going to sin. But if God didn't know that, then he is not all-knowing or all-powerful. By these conclusions, he cannot be God.